crab. A crab always go like this, right? I don't know where they go across the street. They could be killed, but they just go like that. They don't move around.
That's Danielle Clifford, a mainstay of the Vancouver dance scene and a renowned ballet teacher. She doesn't look like it, but Danielle's actually 83 and still dancing. Back in the early 1980s, she would teach ballet out of her basement in her house. And one of her many students was this young, aspiring dancer named Pamela Rosa.
And I remember her, she had these huge plastic pants. And she sweat like crazy. And by the end of the class, my floor was completely wet. And
thank you for remembering that.
yeah, I never forgot that. I never
She used to
forgot.
come out with a mop after class.
And that's how she was.
That's how she remembers me.
That's
the
it.
sweater.
They formed a friendship over the years, and from there, they formed a business partnership where they taught dance classes. But soon after they began working together, they started to notice something. There weren't a lot of options for adult dancers in and around Metro Vancouver.
When I used to go and train in LA or New York or wherever I would go to take classes, I was always with people my age, my peers, and I felt comfortable in that scenario. So when we started teaching, we had our peers come and take our class because they had nowhere to train either.
Enter Harbour Dance Centre, a dance studio they established together in 1985 that's celebrating 40 years of success, and a place where adults with busy schedules could take classes with either beginners or professionals, like their former student, Shalimar Blanchard.
It was the only place that was offering dance classes for adults, and so as I got older, and you've got your commitments as well, the concept of being able to do it as drop-in was really great.
Shalimar eventually ventured deeper into her dance practice. She says that having a studio like Harbour Dance felt more and more like a place where she could practice, even during the summer months, and not feel out of place.
These summer schools, and they were catered to adults, so you didn't feel like an old lady going into a children's summer school. Like there was this thing that was actually catered towards adults.
But why should adults even care about dance in the first place? Like, what draws them to a dance studio? To answer that, I reached out to Laura Boyd. She's a neuroscientist and a professor of physical therapy at the University of British Columbia and the director of the Brain Behavior Laboratory.
So if you think about movement, you're activating motor areas of the brain. When you pair in music, now you have a whole bunch of really neat other things happening. So you're activating the areas of the brain that are interested in sound and auditory processing. You're activating rhythm, and you're probably also activating a whole bunch of the emotional structures of the brain. So now you have this really holistic activation pattern where you're using a lot more brain. And so you're probably going to get, the thinking is you get a bigger benefit.
Okay, so let's recap. We know from watching Danielle that dance keeps you young. We know from Pam that it fosters community of other like-minded individuals. We know from Shalimar that it helps you maintain fitness, even when you're super busy. And Laura says dance boosts brain health. So after decades of success, where do Danielle and Pamela see Harbour Dance in another 40 years?
I just think, dance has been around since the beginning of time. There's never been a time on earth there hasn't been dance.
For CBC Vancouver, I'm Danielle Piper.
Bye. Bye-bye. Here we are, that's it.